The coming together of residents from indigenous Maya communities across Toledo District on Saturday is a show of solidarity for the Toledo Alcaldes Association and the Maya Leaders Alliance. Men, women, and children met in Santa Elena Village to share their collective views on this controversial piece of document. It's a preliminary version of what will eventually become a standing course of action to be taken where Maya customary land policy is concerned.
We see that draft as a threat to our land, threat to our livelihood, and that's why we are gathering here together. Over 2,000 people are waiting for the government to come and consult the people here with us. That's why we are here. We are waiting for him. That's why we are gathering here.
But that individual who has been appointed by the government of Belize would be a no-show. Senior Counsel Andrew Marshalek was in Punta Gorda Town, where he led a consultation on behalf of the Attorney General regarding the implementation of the CCJ's consent order.
We've been holding consultations on the customary Maya land policy since November last year. This is in fact the 9th time we're having it at this venue.
It's a lengthy process of meeting with legal experts and exchanging opinions on what will ultimately be a formal piece of writing that governs the acquisition and use of land in all 41 indigenous Maya communities. As such, arriving at a mutually agreeable position between the government of Belize and the wider Maya community of southern Belize has proven to be quite challenging.
Our farms are at risk, our lands are at risk, and we see how this policy is attempting to completely destroy our livelihood as indigenous peoples here in southern Belize.
Christina Koch, like many of the alcaldes gathered in Santa Elena, has been at the forefront of the call for the Briceño administration to meet with the Maya people about the customary land policy.
If you look at our people who have gathered here, this is a mass show of solidarity on our Maya people in southern Belize. We have 41 villages that will be completely impacted by the decision of these policymakers. And this is a clear showing of our people saying, no, this will not work for us. We reject it in its entirety. We're demanding that the government completely does away with number 5, which is to limit our land to a 1 kilometer circular area. We are saying absolutely no to that.
What Koch is referring to is paragraph 5 of the general guiding principles of the draft policy. It reads, in part, quote, "In the case of villages with a membership of 500 people or less within 1 kilometer of the village center, in the case of villages with 1,000 members or less but more than 500 members within 2 kilometers of the village center, and in the case of Maya villages with more than 1,000 members within 3 kilometers of the village center," end quote. The extract, according to Marshalek, has been grossly misunderstood and misrepresented in order to reflect what is being described as a 1 kilometer rule.
If you read 5, that's not what it says. In fact, it's being completely misrepresented because it's not an upper limit on the lands that can be claimed. It's in fact the lower limit. It's the least that can be had, not most. So I'm not quite sure why it's being obviously misrepresented in the way that it is, otherwise than to drum up support for a cause, for an agenda.
But what is that motivation, and why would it be used to deceive the masses of villagers?
Do you believe that perhaps they should have come to you guys first before putting together a draft policy in the spirit of consultation?
Yes, that's what the government should have done before. They should have come and consult each villages and then write down if we accept. You have to talk to us first. You can't just write something and which we don't know about,
Part of learning about the policy and having a say about its creation is actively participating in the consultations. That's what one concerned villager from San Pedro, Colombia has chosen to do. Along the way, he has formed his own opinion based on what he has been able to learn.
It all started like 2021 when the drafting of this Maya customary land tenure started. And starting to do the outreach and capacity building with different communities. To cut long story short, here we are, and we see different Mayan communities being misled, and the tearing of the draft document, which is, we're just working through it and trying to get an understanding of these laws and things. It is very pathetic to see that, some of our very own Maya people shouting out things that, even myself trying to read these documents since then, having a difficulty trying to understand it,
The first alcalde of Santa Elena Village echoed the sentiment of all those in attendance during Saturday's gathering. He dismisses paragraph 5 altogether.
The policy is put in there, especially the paragraph 5 there, is threatening our livelihood, is threatening our land, is threatening our rights. That's why we don't want that paragraph 5. We totally reject it and not accept it. We disagree. All the Maya people, 41 villages, are here. They reject that policy.
The question is, do the masses of Mayan villagers fully understand the language as well as the ramifications of what is contained within the draft document? Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.